Welcome to the Law of Attraction Tribe. I'm your host, Stephanie Keith. I went from being a miserable corporate employee to becoming a podcaster, app creator, and best-selling author, all through the power of the Law of Attraction. So join me for bite-sized episodes where I simplify the manifestation process and help you manifest a life you don't need a vacation from. So buckle up, keep an open mind, and get ready to create your dream reality. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. So today I'm actually going to be sharing an episode from my daughter's new podcast called Manifest Magic for kids, teens, and parents. And I wanted to put this on my podcast as well because we had like the craziest day where we were getting so many signs from the universe, and it was just so incredible the way it all unfolded. So I wanted to share this story with you guys and just the power of manifesting and the power of like asking the universe for guidance, for support, and getting your questions answered. It works every time, and this one was like truly incredible. So I want to share that with you. And also, if you leave a review for the podcast, my daughter's, on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, take a screenshot of it and then go to the lawofattractiontribe.com/review. And I will send you my morning routine little kit. It's like a walking meditation. There's these printable PDFs. And yeah, I'll send it to you totally free. If you would support the podcast, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify for Law of Attraction Tribe and Manifest Magic for kids, teens, and parents. And then, yeah, just take a screenshot, head over to the lawofattractiontribe.com/review and get your free morning routine. So let's go ahead and listen to the crazy day that we had with getting signs all day long from the universe.
Welcome back to the Manifest Magic podcast. And today we're going to be talking about different signs that the universe can send you and different signs you can look for. But first, we have a special offer.
So if you want to start podcasting, you can use our hosting platform, which is called Libsyn. And if you use code LOA at checkout, you get 1 month free. So all you have to do is go to signup.libsyn.com and use code LOA at checkout for 1 month free. And Libsyn is spelled LIBSYN, and they can get you started with your own podcast. All right. So do you want to start out talking about our day yesterday?
Sure. So my grandma was like, okay, I'll watch the kids. You guys go out and have lunch and stuff, which does not happen very often. So we decided to go to Olive Garden and get lunch. And while we were sitting there, we were coming up with like a business plan, and we were talking about that. And then as we go to pay, we realized that we're sitting at table 111. And we were like, oh, what a coincidence. Like, it's repeating numbers. So we were like talking about different repeating numbers. And as we were talking about that, it was like 133. So there was like 33. We were like, oh, what a coincidence that is. And our waitress overheard us.
Didn't you were like 33 and you looked it up and you were like, that means your spirit guides or angels are around. It's like divine timing or divine intervention or something like that. So then she walks up, the waitress, and then
she was telling us how she's like been struggling financially and how she like believes that like when you pick up a penny, how like it's like your angels are like watching over you and they're helping you financially. So like when you pick up a penny, it helps you like earn more money, like for good luck. And so she pulled out her wallet and she showed us a penny that she picked up on the bus. And it was just like crumpled up, like folded. Like it looked like some type of like machine just like crumpled the penny up. And she was like, no one would have picked it up, but I did. And she was like, I've been receiving like great tips all day and I've made like so much money. And before she even told us that, we had already given her a really good tip because this was after we paid.
Yeah. So then we were telling her, like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy because we were just talking about like good luck and numbers and how we're at table 111. And she was like, well, yeah, like different numbers mean different things. And 111 means that whatever it is you're focused on, like that is, you should go forward with it. And then she was like, and then threes mean that like your guides are listening, they're here supporting you and encouraging you. And it was like literally everything we had just said that she had not heard at all, she repeated. And we were like, okay, that's totally a sign. And I should say too, like earlier in the day before we even left, my friend Simone, shout out to Simone, she does like runes readings and tarot readings, and she's really good. She's like the best of the best. And I say that because she does readings for me all the time. And every single time they've been spot on, like literally every single time. So I was talking to her in the morning and I was like, okay, I've got a couple things that I'm thinking about when it comes to my business, and I need to know which I should move forward with. And I kind of have a sense, but I just want to see what the cards say. So she had messaged me before we went out to lunch, and she was like, okay, the cards are saying go with this thing, which is the thing that my intuition was feeling was like, yes, like let's do this. So that's what Alexis and I were talking about. And then we started seeing all these signs. And I'm like, okay, that's got to be a sign to move forward with this business plan. So then we leave Olive Garden.
Yeah. So then, like, where we live, like the Olive Garden, it's like kind of in like a shopping complex thing. So, like, there's a bunch of shops like right around it. So we were like, oh, let's go like look at some stuff for our podcast setup. So we decided to run in, like, there was like Five Below. So we were like, okay, let's run in Five Below really quick. And there was, starting before we even walked in, everything that was at the front was priced 555, like $5.55. So we were like, oh, that's funny. And as she's going to text Simone that, Simone texts us that she just saw a car with the license plate 555 and then drove past a sign that said 555. We're like, what a coincidence. We were just about to text you that we just saw 555. And we don't even live in the same state as her. So, like, what are the odds that at the exact same time
Yeah.
we saw the exact same numbers? And then, so we were like walking around the store, and pretty much like everything in the store was like matching the podcast colors. And then, like, there was a lot of like disco balls and butterflies, which is kind of like our sign for good luck. And then there was like a lot of repeating numbers. And then, so she was on the phone with Simone, like telling her, about all the numbers we saw. And as we're talking about that, we walked past a whole like a whole line of books about the meaning of numbers, and then like a bunch of things with like positive quotes saying like go for it, do it, stuff
Good
like
luck,
that. Good luck.
manifest your dreams. And we were like, okay, it's the whole day has been set up.
So then after, like, we were trying to think of like other signs we could like look for, and I was like, another like weird good luck sign that like I always have is penguins for some reason, and I don't know why. But I was like, okay, what are the odds that we're gonna see something with a penguin? Like, it's the middle of the summer.
Yeah, you're like, if we see a penguin, then that is just confirmation.
Yeah, so we drive like down to the other side of like the shopping complex because the next store we wanted to go in was kind of far. And as I get out of the car, there's like those little, those little like paper things that the gift cards come in, and it said like 333. Like, I have a picture of it,
but it was sitting right
like,
by where she gets out of the car.
Right by where I get out. So then we were like, oh, that's funny, like 333, more repeating numbers. So then we go in Ulta, and she had like ran to the bathroom or something. So I was just like kind of walking around, and I was looking at some stuff, and then I turned and I look, and I was like, oh, that girl has on a Hello Kitty shirt. That's really cute. And then I look, and one of the things on her shirt is the penguin from Hello Kitty. And I was like, okay, what are the odds of that? Like,
yeah,
we just asked the universe for a sign of a penguin, and then I see a penguin.
Yeah. So then we decide we're going to go in Kirkland's, which I don't know if anyone's ever been in Kirkland's, but I don't know. It's kind of like that. I would say like farmhouse decor, like
Yeah.
everything's pretty like neutral. And so we were like, okay, if we see bright colors and like the podcast logo type stuff, then that's got to be a sign because Kirkland's doesn't really carry like that kind of decor.
Yeah.
And we walk in the door.
And there's like a cart right by the door. It's almost like blocking the door, but like it's not like blocking all the way to where you can still open the door. But the whole cart is all like pillows and like decor with the podcast colors. And we actually got one of the pillows, which looks kind of like
Literally like
my
the logo.
logo.
And we were like, what are the odds? And then everything on that cart was 50% off. Then we go to buy it, and the lady's like, oh, it was your birthday in June. So you get an extra 20% off on top of the 50% off. So we got 70% off the pillow. And we were like, okay, everything today has been just one big sign.
Yeah, and then one other thing too is like we were kind of like just browsing around the store after that, and we noticed like throughout the day we had been seeing a lot of like stuff with cheetahs on it, which that could just be a coincidence or it could not. So I looked up what the sign of like I can't remember if it was a tiger. I think it was a cheetah. So yeah, we looked up like the sign of a cheetah, and it means that like it's for like strength and like I think the sign meant like something like that had to do with that. I forget exactly like how it was worded, but like powerfulness and like things are leading your way or like something
Yeah, like
that.
having like the courage to take
Yeah.
action, which is just so crazy. And so, needless to say, we're moving forward on this idea. We'll let everybody know once it's there. But I, we were talking, and Alexis, like, we definitely need to do an episode on this because it's really powerful. Like, what I've learned with manifesting, and Alexis knows this now too, is if you have a question about anything, it could be anything. It could be about a business thing, something with a friend, something with school. Maybe it's a tough decision you have to make, or you just like want to make a decision, but maybe you're a little bit afraid and you're doubting yourself. You can ask for a sign. And what's crazy is I've done this now for years. And when you ask a question, especially a specific question, you will get the answer one way or another. The answer could come in the form of like a song lyric that you hear, when you're driving. It could be a license plate. It could be an email that pops up. It could be a penny that you see on the ground. And so it's a really good idea to like pick a sign, right?
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about maybe like how people can choose a sign, maybe something that's like special?
Yeah, so like I feel like choosing a sign, it's like choosing something that you feel like resembles like you almost or like something that like you feel like you would imagine like if when you think of good luck, like what do you picture in your head? Like I feel like everyone kind of pictures something in their head when they hear like good luck, but like it could be like you could really just like think of anything in your head. Like we kind of came up with like the disco ball and the butterfly thing because we were talking to a psychic medium and that was like the signs from my grandma. So we just kind of put that as like our good luck sign, but it could really be like anything.
Yeah, and it's also a good idea to pick something that you don't see very often.
Yeah.
So that way, when you do see it, you know that that's a sign. So, like, um, the disco ball thing, we picked that like before disco balls became this like trend. And I swear, I feel like I manifested that trend. I
Yeah.
keep saying that. I really feel like I did because now I see disco balls everywhere. The butterfly is another one. Like, um, I feel like you can see butterflies a lot, but what will happen with us is literally like butterflies will like pretty much hit us in the face. They'll come like really close or they'll fly
It's
in all
always
different
yeah, it's always
ways.
like when we're in our backyard, like in the pool, and there will be like butterflies like everywhere. And we've lived here for like 10 years and that's never happened before. I don't think I've ever seen like a butterfly fly that close to my face before that.
Yeah. So the way that I look at it, like what that waitress was telling us and what you had looked up, like with threes, when you see repeating threes, that's like your spirit guides, your angels, divine intervention. And so with the numbers threes or with the disco ball, the butterflies, the penguin, those are all signs for like her grandma. So whenever I see those, I'm like, okay, she's here with us. Like she's guiding us, she's helping us, she's supporting us. And then when I see ones or I see a feather is like my personal sign. What that tells me is that whatever I'm thinking about in that moment or whatever I'm contemplating, or if I asked a specific question, this is telling me, yes, move forward with it, keep going, like you're on the right path. So you can kind of pick what the signs mean for you and pick something that's meaningful, something that you don't see all the time, and just test it out, because I have been telling people to do this for a while, and like the stories are crazy, and like the ways you'll see your sign pop up.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different meanings for different numbers. Like I don't think people realize like that numbers have meanings. Like I could even look up right now like the different meanings of the
Yeah.
numbers because there's so many different like things.
Yep. Like, didn't we look up fives right before, or it was like right when we saw the fives, and then you looked it
Yeah.
up, and then that's when
Here, I
Simone
have
sent
the
it.
exact picture of it that I used yesterday. 111 is for intuition. Trust your gut and listen to your heart. 222, alignment. You're in the right place at the right time. We're also seeing a lot of twos. 333, support. Your spirit guides are around you and sending you love, support, and guidance. 444, protection. The universe and our spirit guides are protecting you, which that's my lucky number. And then 555 is for change. Something new is coming. And then 666 is reflect. It's time to wake up to your higher spirit and truth. 777 is luck. Wonderful things are about to happen. 888 is balance. Everything is falling into place as it's meant to be. And 999 is release. It's time to let go of what is no longer serving you.
There you go. So that could be an activity that you do with your kids, your parents, like whoever's listening, is having like a numerology scavenger hunt. And it's like, just start paying attention. And like, if you start seeing repeating numbers, like call it out. And I always just think thank you, like, thank you for sending me a sign. And like, pick your specific sign too. Like it could be anything. It could be an animal. It could be a color, object. Like it could be literally anything that maybe is meaningful, or you just like, but you don't see all the time.
Yeah, and I just thought of another time that I've asked for a sign not that long ago. So I was debating on starting the podcast and I was like, what I was thinking of like a sign from like the universe that like would it be something that like happens every day or that you see every day? And it had been like it had gone like 2 weeks without raining. So I was like, okay, if it rains today, that is gonna be my sign to make the podcast. And it rained for the first time in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. When we first moved to Florida, I like, once we moved, I was kind of having doubts because you were like little at that time, and you would ask me all the time, like, why did we move? And like, I miss our family and stuff like that. And I started like questioning everything. And so I was like, okay, I need to know if I made the right decision or if I just like ruined your childhood by moving across the country. And so I asked for rainbows, and every single day I started seeing rainbows. Like every day, every time I went outside, there was a rainbow in the sky. And then I questioned it because I was like, well, we live in Florida in the summer. It's like rainy and sunny. So that would make sense that there would be a lot of rainbows. So I kind of questioned it. And then I come home one day and I had these like crystal lamps. And the way the sun was coming through the window and hitting the crystal lamp, it projected rainbows all over the walls of our house, like hundreds of rainbows. And I
I
was
still
like,
remember that from when I
yep.
was little.
I'm like, okay, there's no like that. That is a sign for sure. So it's like really interesting the way you'll see it, and you can ask
Yeah.
for clarity if you are kind of doubting,
Yeah,
you
because I
know.
feel like it is very easy though to doubt signs from the universe because sometimes you can be like, oh, it's just like a coincidence because like coincidences like do happen sometimes, I feel like.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like if I'm like not 100% sure that's a sign, then I like will ask for like more clarity. And I feel like especially when you very first start asking the universe for signs, it is good to ask for clarity because like I don't know. I just feel like when you like start doing it. It's better to like have more to like be sure, you know?
Well, and it's fun. Like yesterday, I mean, we knew from the very beginning, we knew like, okay, this is definitely a sign. But then it was just kind of fun to like keep getting that
Yeah.
confirmation.
And
And
like it kind of makes me think because like I mean we were definitely looking for it then, but it kind of makes me like wonder how many times there's signs right in front of me that I don't realize.
mhm,
Because
yeah,
I know there's signs like a lot that I probably just don't realize, but I just like am not paying attention.
yep. Yeah. And then I was thinking too about like what the waitress said, and she was like, whenever I see a penny, like no matter how mangled up it is, like that one she picked up, she's like, I pick it up because that's me telling the universe that like I want abundance. I appreciate money. And like if you don't pick it up, like imagine not picking up $100 bill. Like treat every bit of money as you would treat like $100 bill and just respect it and give gratitude for it.
And I actually do have another funny story that I didn't even tell you yet because I came home like later last night. But me, like, I went out last night for dinner and stuff. So I was telling my boyfriend about that story with like the pennies. And right as we say that, we look down and there was a dime right at our feet. So he picked it up and I'll have to ask him if he's earned any money yet. But we kept seeing a lot of pennies and dimes and stuff yesterday on the floor.
Yeah, it's fun. Like it's fun for adults too, because once you get older, like I don't know, you're just not as tapped into like magic and fun. And for me, like that was so much fun. It was like it felt like a game. It was like, oh,
Yeah,
what are we gonna see next? So it's
yeah,
like, it's really just something cool you can do. And obviously it's something you can do with kids. Parents can do with kids. And we'll create a worksheet. We should create a worksheet with all those numbers
yeah.
and their meanings, and we'll put that in the Manifest It Now app in the kids section. So that way, like if anyone's new to the podcast, every week we put the episode there. But we also put an activity that's good for kids, and we do like all ages. So we'll put a numerology one.
Yeah. Like even someone like my age too would enjoy it. Like
Hmm.
even for like older kids, younger kids, really anybody. Even
Yeah.
adults, you never know. You can have some fun sometimes. Doesn't hurt.
Alexis is like so good with graphic design. So you can like design it, and then it's something you can even like print and like frame it or like put it up as a poster or just take a screenshot. It could be like your phone
Yeah.
um, wallpaper.
Yeah, or if you even don't want to make it as your wallpaper, you can get those little like the little widget things.
Oh
Like there's the
yeah,
different apps. Like I use an app called Widget Smith, and that like you can upload whatever pictures you want and put it as a widget.
you should
Maybe
do
I'll
a
do that.
tutorial on that. I wonder if you
Yeah.
could do a widget that's like 111 222 3. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Okay. Well, she'll add a tutorial on that in the app as well. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so do we have any other, are we good for signs?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's good to get started and have fun with it. Like, this is a fun activity. If you're a kid listening, make your parents do it with you. If you're a parent, make your kids do it with you, and it's fun. Okay. And then before you go, one other thing I wanted to mention is this is a new podcast. So let's help Alexis get some reviews. So if you go on Spotify or Apple Podcast and leave a review, take a screenshot of it. And then you're going to go to the lawofattractiontribe.com/review. Upload your screenshot, and I will send you a free little morning routine. There will be printables. There's going to be a walking meditation, a fun thing for just getting started in the morning with like manifesting. So yeah, all you got to do is leave a review, take a screenshot, go to the lawofattractiontribe.com/review, and we'll send you some goodies. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
That's all for today, I think.
okay. We'll see you guys back here next time. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the episode, then pay it forward and share it with a friend. It's the best thing you can do to support the podcast and help share the law of attraction with other people. If you want more manifestation hacks, tips, and resources, then head over to my Instagram page at the Law of Attraction Tribe, or download the Manifest It Now app and check out my over 200 manifestation resources and tools. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you back here next time.